So this morning or this evening, this afternoon, whenever it is you're watching this, we're going to do a short practice. And I'm focusing on Gaza because over the past while, I've just found it so repugnant, the hideous, grotesque murder of, 30,000 Palestinians. I think 2/3 of them are women and children. And the decimation of hospitals, the killing of doctors and poets and teachers, and the destruction of all of the education systems, et cetera. It's just terrible. So I just thought, instead of me working to displace my anguish about that, and it's a small anguish in comparison with people who've actually lost beloved relations there, or people who've lost their lives, but I'm going to just sit with this. And there's a practice in Buddhism called Tonglen, and it is a practice of compassion, of learning compassion. And it's a practice of breathing in pain. So if you are feeling vulnerable, turn this off, because I'm going to be inviting us to breathe in pain and to breathe out loving kindness. Now, what this will do to world affairs is neither here nor there, but it may make you feel a little more centered in the world that we are living in at the moment. So I'll just ask that we sit with our, we can sit on a cushion or a block. I'm sitting on a meditation cushion because I have a bad knee, and this helps me with my knee. But you can sit on whatever you like, and we'll just sit and breathe in and out in a measured way. So I've got my feet together here, back a little bit, and I've got all of my papers spread out over there. And I just thought I would start with a reading of Charlotte Joko Beck, who's one of my favorites, a woman. She isn't alive anymore, but she's alive in her words. She writes a piece which is, the theme of it is every moment is a guru. So we're sitting with our legs out. We can have them supported, as I have a cushion underneath. And we're inhaling and exhaling deeply. So we're inhaling, and our breath is filling up our belly, and then our chest, and then, our belly, and then our ribs, and then our chest. And then we're exhaling from the top down, from our chest, ribs to belly. So it's as though we're drinking a glass of water. So we're drinking a glass of water, filling up our breath from the bottom up, and then we're exhaling from the top down. And we can breathe through our nose. So if you would continue breathing, I'll set a pace. You may find this too fast or slow, and you find your own rhythm. So inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. And I'm just going to read you this short piece. Every moment is the guru. Life always gives us exactly the teacher we need at every moment. This includes every mosquito, every misfortune, every red light, every traffic jam, every illness, every loss, every moment of joy or depression, every addiction, every piece of garbage, every bad breath. Every moment is the guru. So we're just going to sit with that for a moment. And we're going to inhale suffering and sorrow and carelessness and cruelty. And we're going to feel that in our body, feel that opening up our body to experiencing suffering. And we're going to exhale loving kindness and healing. And we're going to inhale suffering and cruelty and exhale loving kindness and care. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And we'll dedicate the merit of this practice to all those suffering in Gaza or suffering outside of Gaza, for those in Gaza. And we'll inhale and exhale. And we'll inhale and exhale. Now you can just continue to breathe on your own. And I'm going to move back. We're going to remain seated for this short practice. And I'm just going to invite you to stretch your legs out. I'm sitting on a blanket just to keep my hips raised a bit. And I have a belt. You don't have to have a belt, but you could have one. And I'm just going to sit in Dandasana and feel the energy in my body moving. I'm pressing up through my heels, and I'm just feeling the energy in my body moving through me. And maybe it's moving from the soles of my feet, up my legs, into my groin, up my torso, and out the crown of the head. And then maybe I'm feeling energy moving from the crown of my head down my spine to my tailbone, out my legs, and out my feet. I'm just feeling a kind of flowing sensation in my body. And if you can't feel this, you can just imagine it. And I'm wanting us to feel, what is it like to really imagine that we have many bodies. We have a physical body, we have a body of prana or energy or breath, and that we're able to move our energy from one part of our body to the other. And maybe in our imagination, in our mind's eye, we're able to express loving kindness for those who are suffering. I'm pulling my toes back, and I'm pressing out through my heels. And I'm sitting up with a kind of neutral spine. I'm neither pressing forward nor am I pressing back. Good. And now, as I speak, I'm going to read something. I'm going to invite you to fold over with a straight back as far as you can, and then when you can go no further with a straight back, you can just round your back. And we're going to sit here for a couple of minutes. This is a kind of yin practice, so we're going to rest here. If it becomes terribly painful, you can, of course, come up. So we're just going to rest here. You could hold on to your toes, or your ankles, or your shins, or your thighs, whatever is comfortable. I'm going to read a rather sad piece, but we saw babies abandoned in incubators. The world was silent. We saw the feet of children lying side by side, poking out from beneath the rubble. The world looked away. We saw a father reach out to his dead child as he too breathed his last. The world wrung its hands. We saw hospitals and schools become targets. The world grunted their denials. So I want us to breathe in this sorrow and suffering and breathe out loving kindness. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And now we're just going to roll up and sit. We're going to bring you can bring your left leg in. So you can bend your knee and put it into your inner thigh. If you can't bring it all the way up, you can just put it on your knee, or you can just hold it like this, whatever is comfortable for you. And you can, if you have it like this, you can just stay like this, or you can fold over again, and you can use a strap. We're going to just pivot slightly towards that outstretched leg and go down with a straight back as far as we can. It may not be too far. And we're just going to hold it there for a moment. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. And now we're going to just fold over that leg and hold on to your toes or your ankle or your shin and just feel. Yin practice can be uncomfortable. You can also hold on to the outside of your foot if you like. That will turn your body a little closer, a little bit more to that side. It's a little bit of a twist. And we're just going to rest here, inhaling and exhaling. And I'll continue on. We saw children hold press conferences in English in the innocent thought that perhaps it's a language barrier that's delayed their rescue. The world was uninterested. We saw doctors, eyes still wide with horror from all they witnessed, pleading for world leaders to intervene, prevent this disaster's descent into genocide. The world pontificated. We saw mothers bury all their children and fathers gather their children's remains in plastic bags. The world remained unmoved. And now we're going to roll up. And we can just hold on to our shins and just squeeze them into our body. Really feel a lovely embrace. As we're continuing to breathe in and breathe out, focusing on that exchange of energy, breathing in the suffering and breathing out loving kindness. Good. Now we're going to just sit up and we'll do a twist here so we can extend out our right leg and lift our left leg up, put it over on the outside of our right thigh, and we can just leave our legs like this, or we can fold this knee in. So I'll just demonstrate with the leg out. So I've got my left hand behind me and my right hand extended up, and I'm turning over so that I'm using this arm to allow me to turn a bit further. I'm turning from the waist, and I'm keeping my my sense of elongation of the spine. So I'm moving up and around, and you can also hold on to here. So we're just turning here for a moment. If you like, you can bring your leg in and do a full half Lord of the Fishes pose here. And we're just turning. And I'll just leave you here for a moment and I'll read another excerpt here. We have heard the cries of a baby girl begging to be rescued from a car filled with dead relatives, only for her and her rescuers to also be gunned down by snipers. And I'm just going to inhale this torturous story, and I'm going to exhale loving kindness and care for those who are suffering so. And now we're going to turn around, extend our legs out. We can bend our knees and jiggle our legs a bit. And I'm going to lift up my right leg, put it on the outside of my left thigh, and I'm going to draw, this time I'll draw my leg in. You can leave it out if you like. And we're going to just extend our arm up and turn our body from the waist, our torso extending up. And we're going to remain in this twisted posture for a moment. And we're staying with that sense that we are witnessing the suffering. We're also doing other things. We're sending funds to UNRWA, which is the aid organization that supplies support for people in Gaza. We're writing to the Prime Minister. We're going on demonstrations. We're doing what we can, whatever we feel comfortable with, to stop this war and demand a ceasefire immediately. And I'll go back to this poem. Today we have witnessed the body of a child hanging from a wall, legs turned to ribbons of flesh. What does it take to make the world move? If humanity is what makes life, then all the world is dead, and only Palestine is truly alive. And now we'll turn back to the front. And we'll just roll our shoulders back, roll our shoulders forward. We'll tip our head to one side and then to the other, our chin to our chest, and raise our head up. And when we're tipping our chin to the chest, we're going to look at our nose, a drishti, a focal point of meditation. And then when we lift our head up, we're going to look at the space between our eyebrows. So we're dropping our head to our chin to our chest, looking at our nose, and lifting our head up and looking at the space between our eyebrows. And then we're dropping our head down and then looking up again. And now we're going to drop our ear to our left shoulder, and we're going to look up to the corner of our right eye, the outer corner. So we're looking up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to drop our head the other way and look up the other way. And then we're coming back. And then the other way. If you have a neck injury, obviously don't do this, but it's a very good way to release your neck a little. And we're just going to slowly roll, carefully, gently roll our head around to the left side and then back from the right. And then we're going to roll to the right side and back around to the left. And one more time to the other side and then back again. And now we're going to lift our arms out, straight out, pressing our fingers out, and we're going to embrace ourselves and give our shoulders a bit of a rub. Good. And then we're going to stretch our arms out again and embrace our shoulders with the other arm on top and give our shoulders a bit of a rub. Good. And we're going to just stretch our arms out, and we're going to go back and forth a bit with just curving the upper arm forward, just giving our shoulders a bit of a movement here. Compassion requires some work. some effort. And changing the world requires even more. Good. Now we're just going to, since this is a very short practice, we're just going to stretch out, and I'm going to invite you to put a block or a book or a blanket underneath your hips. So we're doing a very shallow back bend here. But the point of this is to work to integrate the movements that we've done, and also that sense we have of being able to withstand suffering and to generate positivity into the world and into others and into our own being in the world, so we can take action when we need to. So I've just got my, right under my sacrum, the block is right under my sacrum here, and I'm stretching my legs out and my body back. There we go. And I can put a blanket under my head if I need to. If this is too much for you, please don't do it. You shouldn't feel any pain in your lower back at all. And and you can leave your legs bent. That's perfectly fine if you like. Or you can stretch them out and stretch your heels out. You can put your hands on your ribs to make sure that your ribs are moving towards your hips and they're not elevated. And you can just lay there with your palms up. And we're continuing to breathe evenly here, inhaling and exhaling. And if you are up for it, you can bend one knee and lift it up to the ceiling. Lift your heel up to the ceiling. And then you can bend that knee again and stretch it out, or put your foot back on the floor. And you can bend the other knee and stretch it out to the ceiling. And then you can bend that knee again, and you can put both feet on the floor if you like. And then if you feel you have the energy, you can bend both your knees towards your chest and then stretch both feet up. So this is an inversion. It's kind of legs up the wall without the wall. And we're just going to stay here. If you'd rather just lay on the floor in Shavasana, that's perfectly fine. So you can remove the block and you can stretch out on the floor in Shavasana. I feel that these inversions for me are quite liberating. They transform my mood and my sense of things. And I'm really working in my older age to be able to shift my thinking through my breath, to be more open to the world, to be more direct in my actions, to be more effective in my everyday movement and my everyday living. And my breathing practice, my pranayama, and my yoga is helping me to do that. You can tilt, if you like, you can tilt your legs over your head slightly. And rest here for a moment. At any time, of course, you can come down. And I'm just going to allow myself to feel that movement. And I'm still inhaling. And I'm exhaling. And back to the Tonglen practice. We're inhaling suffering and the sorrow of the world. And we're exhaling loving kindness to those who are suffering. Inhaling and exhaling. Now I'm going to bring my legs straight up. I'm going to bend my knees and lower them down. I'm pressing my feet into the ground and lifting my behind up so I can remove the block. Then I'm extending my spine down, and I am going to just extend my legs out into Shavasana. And I'm just going to feel a sense of release here. And you can stay here as long as you like, breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And as you inhale, you feel the spaciousness within your body, that you're able to take in suffering, that you're able to breathe out loving kindness. And we're dedicating the merit of this practice to the health and well-being of all living things, and to the health and well-being of us as we practice. And the ongoing transformation of the world, and our own ongoing transformation. And I'm going to leave you there. You can remain in Shavasana as long as you like, or you could remain in one of the earlier postures. And I'm going to stop the recording.